This is week 8, run 1, done and in the books. This was a 7-kilometer recovery run, a little over 4 miles. And once again, I feel like a broken record here, but once again, it's a beautiful South Carolina morning. About 69 degrees Fahrenheit, not a single cloud in the sky, a little bit of a breeze. It's a great morning to go for a run. Throughout the first half of my life, I wasn't really much of a runner. I think in 7th grade, I tried out for middle school track, but I wasn't very good. I don't even remember why I got into track. And then by my mid-20s, when I joined the Air Force, the longest I was running then was 1.5 miles for the physical fitness test. After a little bit of time in the Air Force, I started doing some 5Ks, but it wasn't until probably just about my 30s that I decided I wanted to try for half marathons and start getting into longer distance running. Now, for someone that for a couple decades didn't really like running, the prospect of doing long distance running was not something I was looking forward to. And even as I was doing the running, I was getting bored, I was losing focus, and I couldn't get through the runs. What I found was podcasts. I would put on like a playlist of podcasts, the storytelling or whatever it was they were talking about would draw me in enough that I would not pay attention as much to the aches and pains that my body was feeling as I was running. And by the time I'd get through like a 10-mile run or a half marathon distance, I'd be like, wow, I didn't realize I ran that far. So the point of that was try and find something that keeps you engaged in what you're doing, be it running, strength training, biking, whatever that may be, but that distracts you enough that you don't necessarily pay attention to your body getting fatigued. Something that you can kind of lose yourself a little bit in, like a music, podcast, audiobook, something like that. But now that the miles for me are stacking up, maybe the miles for you are stacking up, so I figured this would be a good time to start giving you some tips for getting through those long runs. Thanks for crossing the starting line to week 8 with me, and I will see you in the next run. Good morning. That is week 8, run 2, done and in the books. This one was a 35-minute recovery run. The guided run is one that I've done many times before, called Successful Run, talking about how making sure even runs that suck, you find some success in them. It's a good one. Definitely check it out. Once again, yet another beautiful South Carolina morning. 60 degrees Fahrenheit, a little bit of clouds in the sky, a little bit of a breeze. Nice, cool, crisp morning to get a run in. I talked in the last run about finding something to kind of take your mind off of the run to get you through long runs. Things like podcasts or music or anything else that you can listen to distract you a little bit from the physical effort that you're putting in. Another great thing that can help you out with runs is getting involved in some sort of running club or running group or any sort of fitness group. Getting into shape again to attempt this marathon training all started with me being a part of a Discord group called Accountability Buddies, where we were just doing something fitness related and we had each other to kind of hold everybody accountable. Just kind of that little extra motivation to get out and do something. And that was the motivation I needed to get back into running and get to the point where I'm now in my 8th week of training for a marathon. So shout out to Tiz Fizzy and everybody in that Accountability Buddies channel. Another great thing that might be more location dependent, there's an organization called Parkrun. I knew when we lived in England and where we lived in Germany, where every Saturday at a local area with trails, they would have a 5K. Now I know not everybody is close to a park or an area with trails. They might not have a running group in person, but definitely keep an eye out in those parks. Usually Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, something like that. See if there's a running group in your area and start having some extra people around with your runs. Keep you motivated, challenge you a little bit, help pick you up when you're slowing down. I know when I was doing those weekend 5Ks, I'd find somebody up ahead of me and kind of challenge myself, catch up to them and pass them. And I know on other runs, the half marathons that I've done, if I'm slow, there's always somebody there that comes along that's like, come on, you could do it, giving you that little extra bit of motivation. So there you have idea number 2 on something to help get you through long runs, really any runs. Take part in some sort of group, be it an online group or an in-person group, and be part of the community. That'll finish it up for me on this run. and go get showered up, get to work, do all the normal daily things. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next run. Good morning. That is week 8, run 3, done and in the books. The rain has held off so far. It's a cloudy day, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like it's about to rain. I think there was a couple sprinkles during my run, but thankfully the rain has held off so far. Forecast is still full of rain for the next 10 days. So I'm sure there will be at least one run in the rain. This morning's run was an interval run. It was a 5-minute warm up and then 3 7-minute intervals at a 5K pace. So it was kind of like 3 mini tempo runs. A little bit of a workout, but we got it done. Had a good pace and I'm proud of. So that's great success. As we're talking this week about different tips and tricks to get through long runs, make them a little bit easier on you while still obviously being difficult. The next tip I have is try and find a place that's not just a straight line to run in. Try and find a route or a trail that kind of has twists and turns, maybe some hills, something to shorten the distance of how far ahead you can see. I think because we're used to either being on bicycles or in cars, we're used to those higher speeds. So when we can see something further away, we know kind of how long it would take to get there in a car or on a bike. And we expect that kind of pace, that rate of travel. When you're running, it's a lot slower than that. So those distances take a lot longer to get to, and it can kind of be discouraging mentally to have to deal with that. Anytime I'm running a trail, winds around, or running through a neighborhood, or I'm taking turns down different streets, because I can only see maybe 100 yards, 100 meters in front of me or more. Like right now it's probably 300 yards, 300 meters. It's kind of like little mini experiences for your mind. You take in the surroundings that you can see, you make a turn, it's new surroundings, it's new things you have to absorb. So it's kind of occupying your mind with taking in all those new sights and distracting you from running. For me, I think it's why I really don't like running more than 20 minutes or so on a treadmill. It's because you're running in place, there's no change in scenery. Even if there's a show or movie or something on, it's still the same place for too long of a period of time while you're doing something that is making you uncomfortable. It's very easy for my mind to refocus on my body at that point and be like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. Can we stop? So finding a place to run where the scenery will change every quarter mile, 400 meters or so, can help keep your mind distracted by taking in all the new sights and let you get through longer runs a little bit easier. I do see a couple sprinkles coming down now. Fortunately, I'm close to being home. So I'm gonna wrap up this cool down walk and I will see you in the next one. Good morning. This is week 8, run 4, done and in the books. This was a 25-minute recovery run on a morning that a storm has just rolled through here. It's about 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and about an hour ago, it was a complete downpour. Fortunately, the rain stopped not too far into the morning, so still able to get this relatively quick run done before having to get to work. I was worried it might start raining again. Brought a little baggie to put the camera in. It did sprinkle a little bit. I probably didn't need the bag, but better safe than sorry, right? One more tip for long runs, although I feel it should be more a rule than a tip, is to make sure you bring a way to hydrate and a way to refuel yourself. And it might not necessarily be bringing something, just make sure your route goes by a place where you can get some water, get some fuel. And this rule holds no matter if your long run is 20 minutes or 2 hours. If you're considering it a long run, it's longer than your body's used to running, so it's gonna be harder on your body, and you need to make sure you stay hydrated and you stay fueled. I have my CamelBak that I take with me for hydration and storage of everything that I carry with me. And on any run that's an hour or more, I take either chews or gels with me, both for a little bit of energy and also for some electrolytes, since I don't like putting electrolyte mixes in my CamelBak. It makes it harder to clean. Make sure on your run, you're able to hydrate, refuel, get some electrolytes in you. If your route's gonna take you by water fountains that you're expecting to use, make sure you go check at some point before the run to make sure those water fountains are there, rather than leaving you essentially stranded on a run with no water. It'd be very bad. But they make all sorts of things. Camelbacks, obviously. There's little hip pouches that you can get that you can fit some shoes in. There's water bottles with straps that you can have on your hand. Whatever you find comfortable and least intrusive on your runs. Definitely make sure you have that. That one's a rule, not a tip. Hydrate, refuel. But I'm just about done my cool down this morning. I've got a day off from running tomorrow, and then Sunday morning will be a long run. I think partially in the rain as well. Forecast keeps changing, but it looks like there may be some rain in the morning on Sunday. We'll see if I have to adjust things. But anyway, it's been fun, and I will catch you in the next run. Good morning. This is week 8, run 5, done and in the books. And the finish line for week 8 has been crossed. This was a 20-kilometer run, a little under 12 and a half miles, and it was a beast. It's about 69 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I'm in between thunderstorms, which I'll talk about in a bit, but I'm starting to hear the thunder again, so I am fortunately close to home again, so I should be able to get back in before the next storm comes through. As I said, this run was rough. I want to be honest and let everybody know watching this. Most of these runs I do complete, run the whole time, do the whole intervals, everything that's asked for. Occasionally, and typically with these long runs, I just get beat. And there's times where I have to walk. This one, I probably walked in total about 1.5 miles of it. So, I mean, still that's a lot of running, but it's like my desire to be better with these trainings. It's kind of in the back of my mind, like, hey, you didn't really complete this, but another part of my mind has to be there to tell myself that, yeah, I did do it. It was rough. I listened to my previous week's advice and I slowed down when I needed to, and that way I didn't get hurt. But yeah, about somewhere between halfway and 3/4 of the way into the run, my legs just didn't want to do anything anymore. And it was just a battle on and off to be running, walking, running, walking. So it is what it is. I still moved myself 20 kilometers on a Sunday morning. That's a win. I'll take that. And I managed to get lucky and have this 2.5 hours in between the storms. So that's another win. I'll take all the wins I can get, even if I have to make them up. There's 2 things I think might have gone wrong with this run. The first, with these storms, some really powerful thunderstorms rolled through around 3 this morning. So about from 3 to 4, I didn't get any sleep because of those storms. And the second thing, looking at my splits, the paces at each mile, I started out faster than I should have. Typically, I start on a long run, my first mile is at about an 11 minute per mile pace, and then like 5 to 10 seconds per mile quicker each mile after that. I think my first mile on this was like a 10:30, which I can't yet keep that up for this kind of distance. So that combination of a lack of sleep and starting a little too fast brought on the fatigue too quickly, I think, which is what wrecked this run for me. I just have to remember, we're not perfect. Not everything we do is going to be a win. Not every little bit of training is going to go exactly the way you want it to go. You have to adjust, you have to learn and push through, and still just keep trying for that 1% better every day. I am going to wrap this up. I keep hearing thunder in the distance. I'm close to home, so I got to get in before the next storm hits. But that is the finish line for week 8 crossed. We're heading into week 9. I'm gonna keep a positive attitude. Hopefully my legs will refresh for Monday. But as always, thanks for watching. Let me know how your training is going, and I'll see you in the next run.